trust shifted that night. Not loudly, but permanently. They'd chosen the restaurant because it looked like success. Dark wood walls, soft lighting, a private room so my father could make a short speech without competing with strangers. My mother kept smoothing invisible wrinkles from the tablecloth, the way she did whenever something important was happening. I remember thinking how coordinated everything felt. The reservation, the cake, the way my graduation cap sat centered beside my plate like a prop in a carefully staged scene. People kept congratulating my parents. "You must be so proud. We couldn't have done it without them," someone said. I nodded along. That had always been the story. Tuition handled. Housing handled. I'd worked part-time for spending money, sure, but the heavy lifting, I assumed that was them, or maybe scholarships, or some invisible adult machinery I never quite understood. Then Grandma smiled at me. Not the polite, distant smile she used for church photos. A warm one, soft around the eyes. "I'm just glad the $1,500 I send you every month is helping." She said it like a secret between us, like she'd been quietly cheering me on from the sidelines. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. I felt my face hold its expression while something inside it didn't. My brain did quick, useless math. $1,500. Every month. For years, I had never seen that money. There are moments when you could let confusion pass. You could laugh. You could assume she meant something else. Instead, I said very evenly, "I never got any money." No accusation. No drama. Just fact. The room shifted. It wasn't loud. No gasps. Just a thinning of sound. Someone's fork touched a plate too sharply. My aunt's smile stalled midair. Grandma blinked at me. "Of course you did," she said gently. "I've been sending it since your first semester." I shook my head. "I've worked every term. I've taken out loans. I've never received a monthly transfer." Silence expanded. It felt physical, like the air pressure had changed. And then I looked at my parents. My father was very still. The kind of stillness that looks controlled until you notice the tension in the jaw. My mother reached for her water but didn't drink. Grandma followed my gaze. She didn't look angry. She looked focused. She set her plate down. The sound was small, porcelain on wood, but it cut through everything. "Then where did it go?" she asked. No one answered right away. My father cleared his throat. "Mom, we've handled the finances. It's complicated." Grandma didn't look at him. "It's not complicated. I send money to my grandson." My mother finally spoke. "We used it for tuition and living costs. It all went toward his education." I felt something cold settle into place. "I took loans," I said. "You told me we had to. You said things were tight." My father's voice sharpened just slightly. "And we did contribute. You don't know the full picture." That part was true. I didn't. But I knew what my bank statements looked like. I knew the nights I calculated grocery budgets down to dollars. I knew the summer I skipped an unpaid internship because I couldn't afford to work for free. Grandma folded her napkin carefully. "How much was tuition each semester?" she asked. My parents didn't answer immediately. It was that hesitation, not the amount, that changed the temperature of the room. I didn't feel explosive. I felt strangely clear. Years of small, confusing moments lined up in my head. Scholarship refunds I was told had been absorbed. Financial aid emails that my father insisted on handling because it's easier if one person manages it. Forms I signed without really reading. Grandma reached into her purse and pulled out her phone. "I'm calling Mr. Feldman," she said. That name meant something. He'd handled her finances for years. Calm, precise, unimpressed by family dynamics. My father leaned forward. "Mom, this isn't the place." Grandma didn't raise her voice. "You're right. It's not. But this is the moment." She stepped out of the private room. The door closed softly behind her. Inside, the rest of us sat suspended. My aunt pretended to check her phone. My cousin stared at the cake like it might explain something. I studied my hands and realized they weren't shaking. I'd expected anger. Instead, there was a strange steadiness. My mother leaned toward me. We were protecting you from stress, she said quietly. College is hard enough. From what? I asked. She opened her mouth, closed it. My father's tone changed, less defensive, more measured. Money moves around in a family. It's not always one-to-one. That wasn't the question, I said. The door opened. Grandma walked back in. She didn't sit down. I've asked for a full record of every transfer for the last 4 years, she said. I've also asked that all future payments be suspended. My father stood. Mom! She held up a hand. Not dramatic, just firm. If I intended to support my grandson, then I expect transparency. If there's been a misunderstanding, the records will show it. There it was. Authority. Not emotional. Administrative. No yelling. No threats. Just oversight. Dinner ended shortly after. The cake went mostly untouched. In the car ride home, no one spoke. The days that followed were quieter than I expected. No explosive confrontations. No confessions. When the documents arrived, they were clear. Monthly transfers. Deposited into an account under my father's name. The one he'd always said was temporary for managing tuition. Some of the money had gone toward my tuition. Some hadn't. There were transfers to a business account during a year I remembered my father describing as tight. There were credit card payments I didn't recognize. When I sat down with them at the kitchen table, I didn't accuse them of theft. I didn't threaten legal action. I asked for one thing. Going forward, any financial support in my name goes directly to me, and I handle my own accounts. My mother looked tired. My father looked smaller than he had at the restaurant. We did what we thought was best for the family, he said. I believed he believed that, but something had shifted. Grandma called me later that week. I've updated my arrangements, she said. If I help you, it will be direct and documented. There was no triumph in her voice, just resolution. I'm not sure what will happen to our relationship long-term. Trust doesn't snap cleanly. A phrase. It hangs. But at my graduation dinner, when everyone slowly turned to look at my parents, something foundational moved. Not because I exposed them, because I stopped letting confusion pass as gratitude. And from that point on, anything with my name on it, I would see it myself.